Imagine searching for a missing family. Hundreds of volunteers, police officers, tracking dogs, ATVs, helicopters, drones. Days of searching through mountains. Nothing. Not a single trace. Then, 4 years later, a hunter walks into the same forest and finds all 3 of them. Only 4 kilometers from where everyone had already searched. How does an entire family stay hidden in a place that had already been searched over and over again? That's only the first mystery, because inside their abandoned truck, police found their wallets, phones, GPS, jackets, their starving dog, still alive, and beneath the driver's seat, they found $32,000 in cash. Money that nobody could explain. Tonight, we're going to Oklahoma to talk about one of America's strangest disappearances, a family haunted by paranoia, a security camera that captured their final hours, and a mystery that, more than 15 years later, still has no official answer. Welcome to the podcast, You Can't Unhear. October 8th, Eufaula, Oklahoma. 44-year-old Bobby Jamison, his wife Sherilyn, their 6-year-old daughter Madyson, and the family's dog Maisie left home together in Bobby's white pickup truck. Nobody thought much about it. The Jamisons were private people, very private. They rarely socialized, rarely visited neighbors, rarely invited anyone over. So when they disappeared, nobody noticed. Not for 1 day, not for 2, not even 3. It wasn't until the 4th day, when relatives couldn't reach them, that people realized something was wrong. By then, whatever had happened had already happened. From the outside, the Jamisons looked like a family quietly struggling. Bobby had chronic back pain after a serious car accident. He suffered from depression. Strong prescription painkillers had become part of everyday life. Sherilyn had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. She also battled depression. Earlier that same year, she had reportedly survived a suicide attempt and spent time hospitalized. Neither parent was working. The family survived on government disability payments. Money was tight. Stress was constant. Their marriage wasn't doing much better. But despite everything, they had recently become excited about something, starting over, far away from everyone else. They had found 40 acres of remote land in the Sans Bois Mountains, a place surrounded by forests. No close neighbours, no traffic, no city noise. The plan, according to people who knew them, was simple. Move into a shipping container. Live there temporarily. Build a house little by little. For Bobby, it represented freedom. For Sherilyn, maybe, it represented another chance. 9 days after the family disappeared, hunters made an unexpected discovery. A white pickup truck, parked near the land the Jamisons had planned to buy. Locked, silent, nobody inside. Police forced the doors open. Immediately, things became strange. Their wallets were there. Their mobile phones, their GPS, their coats, even Bobby's medication. Nothing appeared stolen. Then officers heard something moving in the back. Maisie, the family's dog. Weak, dehydrated, barely alive. She had somehow survived inside the truck for more than a week. If the family had willingly abandoned the vehicle, why leave their dog behind? Then came another discovery. Hidden beneath the driver's seat, inside a bank bag, sat approximately $32,000 cash. The Jamisons had been living on disability benefits. Neither had stable employment. Friends and relatives couldn't explain where the money came from. Police couldn't explain it either. And if robbery had been the motive, why would anyone leave $32,000 behind? The deeper investigators looked, the stranger everything became. They searched Bobby's phone. One photograph stood out. Madyson, standing outside, smiling naturally. It appeared to have been taken on the very day they disappeared. Nothing looked unusual. No fear. No panic. Just a little girl whose life would end only hours later. Then investigators found something else. An 11-page letter written by Sherilyn, addressed to Bobby. It wasn't a love letter. It was filled with anger, resentment, pain. According to investigators, Sherilyn listed everything she hated about her husband and expressed a desire to leave the marriage. Was the family secretly falling apart? Or was this simply the emotional release of someone already struggling with severe mental illness? Nobody knew. Police checked the GPS. It confirmed the family had driven toward the remote property in Red Oak. The truck had stopped. But after that, there was no clear trail. So Oklahoma launched one of the largest search operations in the state's history. Nearly 300 people, mounted officers, search dogs, ATVs, helicopters, thermal imaging. Volunteers covering mile after mile of forest. Days passed. Nothing. No footprints. No campsite. No clothing. No bodies. It was as if the Jamison family had simply stepped out of their truck and disappeared into thin air. Then investigators reviewed something few people expected to become so famous. The family's home security footage, recorded on the morning they vanished. At first, nothing seems unusual. Bobby walks outside. Sherilyn follows. They move belongings toward the truck. Then, you keep watching. They walk back into the house. Come back outside. Walk inside again. Again. And again. Nearly 40 trips. Neither of them speaks. Neither acknowledges the other. They move slowly, almost mechanically. Sometimes they stop, doing absolutely nothing, before continuing again. Then they change clothes, for no obvious reason. Then they continue packing. Experts later describe their movements as bizarre. Almost trance-like. Some people who watched the footage said it looked as though the couple wasn't fully aware of what they were doing. Others thought they appeared heavily medicated or under the influence of drugs. Even today, people who watch that footage often say the same thing. It doesn't look normal. Then police entered the Jamisons' home, and the atmosphere inside only deepened the mystery. Investigators discovered a satanic Bible, religious writings, messages mentioning Satan. According to relatives, the family had become increasingly convinced that something evil lived inside their house. Bobby had reportedly spoken with pastors about spirits. At one point, he allegedly asked where he could obtain special bullets capable of killing supernatural entities living in his attic. Both Bobby and Sherilyn reportedly requested exorcisms. Some family members later claimed the couple believed little Madyson spoke with ghost children. Were these genuine paranormal experiences? shared delusions, or symptoms of untreated mental illness? Nobody could say. But investigators now faced a family who believed invisible forces were following them, and who had vanished without leaving a single trace. Then, silence. Weeks became months. Months became years. The case slowly grew cold. The truck remained. The money remained. The dog survived and was eventually cared for by relatives. But Bobby, Sherilyn, and little Madyson were simply gone. Until November 16th, 4 years after they disappeared. 2 deer hunters walked through the Sans Bois Mountains. While moving through thick woodland, they noticed something unusual. Clothing, then bones. Authorities arrived. Forensic teams carefully recovered everything they could find. Months later, DNA testing confirmed the truth. The remains belonged to Bobby, Sherilyn, and Madyson. The family had been lying only 4 kilometers from where the truck had been discovered. 4 kilometers. That's what still haunts investigators today. How did hundreds of trained searchers, with dogs, aircraft, and volunteers, miss 3 bodies lying so close to the original search area? Were they somehow overlooked? Did someone move the bodies later? Or were conditions simply so difficult that an impossible mistake happened? Even today, no one knows. Unfortunately, only skeletal remains remained. There wasn't enough soft tissue to determine how they died. There was a hole in Bobby's skull. Some believed it might have been caused by a gunshot. Others argued years of exposure to weather and wildlife made it impossible to say with certainty. No firearm was ever recovered. No clear cause of death was established. And suddenly, every theory became possible. Some investigators considered murder-suicide, the hate letter, mental illness, isolation. But there were problems. Family members insisted Bobby adored Madyson and would never harm her. Others pointed out that no weapon had ever been found. Then came another theory: the money. $32,000. Some believed it suggested drug trafficking. A psychologist who reviewed the security footage argued Bobby and Sherilyn's movements resembled people affected by drugs. Still, no evidence ever proved the family dealt narcotics. Another theory focused on cult activity. Sherilyn's mother believed the family had become involved with a dangerous group operating in eastern Oklahoma. She wondered whether the unexplained cash might have been connected to some initiation or payment. After television programs covered the case, one of Sherilyn's friends reportedly received a phone call from someone claiming to belong to a white supremacist organization. The caller allegedly hinted they knew what had happened to the family, but police were never able to verify those claims. Then there was Bobby's father. Before disappearing, Bobby had reportedly sought a restraining order, claiming his father had threatened him. Some wondered whether the conflict had turned deadly, but Bobby's father was elderly, in poor health, and died only months later. So most investigators considered that theory unlikely. And of course, there are those who believe the answer lies somewhere else entirely. The strange behavior on CCTV, the requests for exorcisms, the ghost children, the writings inside the house, the belief that something evil had attached itself to the family long before they disappeared. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, it's difficult to ignore how many people connected to the Jamisons described them as genuinely terrified of something they couldn't explain. Maybe the truth is far simpler. Maybe this was a family crushed beneath years of physical pain, mental illness, financial pressure, a failing marriage. Maybe they walked into those mountains and something tragic happened. But even that explanation leaves behind too many questions. Why leave the dog? Why leave the money? Why leave the phones? Why walk away from the truck at all? And how did 3 people remain hidden for 4 years, less than 4 kilometers away from where everyone was searching? Today, no one is really sure what has happened. The Jamison family case has become one of America's greatest unsolved mysteries because every explanation solves one clue, while creating 3 more. Thank you for listening. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and remember, sometimes the scariest stories aren't the ones with monsters. They're the ones where every clue is real, and none of them make sense. I'll see you on the next episode of the podcast You Can't Unhear.